Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. My name is Becca and this is my channel where I talk about all the houseplant things. So today we are going to talk about 4 houseplants, or 4 or 5, let's see. Today we're going to be talking about 5 plants that everyone should have in their collection. Now I realize that should is the operative word here, and the reason for that will become very clear as I go along in the video, but I also want to be clear at the beginning that you don't need to go out and go shopping, but if you are new in your plant collection and you're looking for specific plants, you're looking to grow your collection, you're wondering, what should I buy? What should I have? What plants are helpful? What plants really round out a collection? I believe that these are the ones that will. The first plant that everyone should have in their collection is a spider plant. And I know this seems weird, but I don't currently have one. And as I was making this video, I was like, spider plant, of course, everybody should have a spider plant. And I realized that I don't have one. I used to have one and then I moved. So I will be getting a new one because I feel like a spider plant is a very, very integral plant to have in your collection. Now, it's not known for being the most beautiful of plants or really even the most aesthetically pleasing of plants, but it is a plant that is one of those gifts that keeps on giving. And that is why I think that they're important, because if you have people come over to your house who, let's say, don't like houseplants, they're not familiar with all of this stuff, you can very easily send them home with a spiderette, which is the little baby that grows off of a spider plant. You might not have spiderettes right away, but usually you can buy them with them already grown on them, and that's just the plant's way of propagating more spiders. So as I've discussed on my podcast a couple weeks ago, there's lots of different ways to propagate plants. You have division, you have cuttings, and then also some plants just do it for you, make it very easy, and put off a littler version of themselves. And that is exactly what the spider plant does. That's how it got its name, because all the little pieces look like little spiders coming off of a web string or something like that. So I think it's a really important plant to have because it's green foliage, or like variegated white and green foliage, that's very, very easy. It's very, very simple to take care of, and it's very easy to share. So that's why I think it is a top contender for the 5 plants that you should have. The second plant that I believe everyone should have is pothos. So I really stand by having background greenery that is low maintenance and easy to care for, that you don't have to worry about, you don't have to think about, it's just there. Pothos is one of those plants. It sort of blends into the background if you allow it to, or it can be a statement plant. I like to let mine sort of blend into the background and be lots of filler greenery, because I don't love having a ton of plants that need a lot of care, but I love the look of having a lot of plants. So with that, you have to sort of find a good filler plant, and I think that the pothos is a great option. There's also like the heartleaf philodendron or the philodendron Brazil, but I think that those ones are a little bit too flashy for this, and you need something that's a lot more low maintenance that can just vine and climb and be in the background, but be very beautiful in the background. It's also very easy to share. If you have somebody come over who is intrigued by your plants and you want to help them get started, very easy to chop, very easy to have live in water forever, very easy to share, all of these things. So I think that a pothos is very important to have in a plant collection as well. The next plant that I think that every household should have is an aloe. So aloe is a medicinal plant that can help out with burns or skincare and things like that. It's used for topical reasons, and I find it to be a very, very helpful plant. Perhaps one of the most helpful plants out there. I think it might be the only plant I've ever had that can help me in addition to me helping it. So yeah, I think that it's a really important plant to have. My family has always had an aloe. In fact, we had this aloe growing up and we potted it, and then I don't think we ever repotted it after that. So it has put off like 40 babies, I'm just certain. And they all come out from the pot, and it's just, the pot's like this big and the plant is this big, and it's just this wild thing. And my personal aloe is starting to turn into that, which I think is so funny. But anyway, it's basically a gift that keeps on giving again. It will grow and grow and grow. It loves similar conditions to other cacti and succulents. When I have mine outside living in the sun, you know, lots of sun, getting water every couple of days, that is when it is the happiest. So I would say treat it just like all of your other cactus in the summertime, lots of sun, lots of water, and it will plump up really nicely and put out a bunch of babies. So that's also another plant that keeps on giving. I mean, I know I keep saying that, but plants that are very easy to propagate and share are really good for you to have because you're gonna have a lot of friends who might show interest, and you can sort of create new plant friends by sharing your plants with them. And even if you're not sharing it with your friends, you can go to plant swaps, you can give them to your neighbors as gifts, lots of things that you can do with plants. Plants are a wonderful gift, and if you have them, they're a free gift. So you can just cut off pieces and give them to people. But the aloe is so special because I've used it for burns, I've used it for like my cuticles. My dad used to like put it all over his face. I don't know if that's recommended, but I have memories of my dad using it on his skin all the time, and just soothing, especially burns. Like burns are such a common household injury, so they're very helpful for burns. I think that everyone should have one for that alone. The next plant that I think that everybody should have are windowsill herbs. So I started my plant collection by having a windowsill basil. And to me, I treated it a lot like a houseplant. As long as it was getting a lot of sun, it was very, very happy. So I think that growing plants that are helpful to you is a really great way to get other people on board. Like if you have a partner who's a little bit hesitant, or if you are even hesitant, growing plants that serve a purpose is really helpful. Just like the aloe, windowsill herbs are another version of that. And windowsill herbs can get quite large, but if you're using them often, you can keep it trimmed short and enjoy them. And you're making your own herbs, which is such a cool thing to add fresh herbs into your food. It's so easy. Literally, I feel like herbs are easier to take care of than houseplants because I don't know, outside plants I just find, like outside vegetables and fruits, I find so easy to care for as compared to houseplants. Like getting into the garden has been so cool because I'm realizing that plants are actually not that hard to take care of. I'm just choosing to take care of these tropical plants indoors, and that's why it seems so much harder. You know what I mean? But in reality, plants are very easy to take care of with a little bit of water and sun. So herbs are a really great way to introduce the helpfulness and the necessity of plants into our life. And they're also just very cute and helpful to have on the windowsill whenever you are cooking. And the last plant that I think everybody should have in their collection is the MONSTERA deliciosa. Not only is this plant iconic, it is extremely fun to watch grow. So as I mentioned many times before, one of my very first plants ever was a MONSTERA deliciosa. And the reason that I love it so much is that I was able to watch it grow from a very, very tiny leaf, probably about this big, into a plant that has big leaves and fenestrations all over it. And honestly, seeing that process from going from this tiny little plant to this big, majestic, beautiful plant is the thing that got me hooked on plants. It's the reason that I love this so much because, you know, having plants in your house is cool, obviously, but watching them grow and shift and change because of you is even better. I just cannot get over how cool it is to see and know that this plant used to be something completely different. So plants that have a completely different juvenile form to their adult form, I think are so cool and inspiring and really convince us to keep plants for a long time and to give them their best care so that they can continue to grow just like that and change and morph into something so much bigger and better as time goes on. So MONSTERA deliciosa and all of these plants are really easy to find at your local garden center, usually year round, although the herbs you might have to grow from seed if you're working in the winter time. I'm not exactly sure, but I've always been able to find fresh herbs for sale at the grocery store actually, even in the winter, in pots. So go ahead and check your local grocery store and see if you can find any herbs if you can't find them at the garden center. I've always been able to find pots of basil, and they advertise it so that you can just put it in water, and you can also do that, but I usually put mine in soil and they grow a lot more. I hope that you enjoyed a little crash course on 5 plants I think everybody should have. I definitely feel passionate about this subject and I'm happy to talk about it more if you guys are interested, but there definitely are certain plants that I feel are super, super important to have in your collection as a houseplant collector. And not having a spider plant after making this video makes me feel so weird because I feel like I need to have one. I feel this huge hole in my heart. But I guess that goes to show that even if I'm saying that you absolutely need the plant, you don't. You will live, obviously your collection will be fine, but I just think that these plants are very helpful and fun and easy to share and just, I don't know, inspire the plant person to do better for the plants so that you can see them keep growing and changing. All right, you guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate you being here. If you're not already, make sure that you are subscribed to my channel. I would love to have you around here on a more regular basis for plant tips and chats with me, Becca. All right, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.